Hello, welcome to Wacko Radio.
Welcome,
everyone.
All right.
Yes. What's on the agenda for tonight, Liz?
We're doing a overrated, underrated movie, and
Another overrated, underrated episode.
Yes.
Excellent.
And this one is an underrated movie that we're going to discuss.
Fantastic.
Underrated, and
It
is.
You'll find out after this music.
Oh, whoa!
Oh.
Cliffhanger.
Zing.
What is it? Oh my God. The Land of the Lost.
Land of the Lost.
With Will Ferrell.
Remake 2009.
Is it 2009?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna whip out the
Whip
facts.
it out, dude.
Whoa.
Someone's gonna whip it out.
Whoa!
Either you or me, man. It's getting whipped out.
Whip out the facts.
Whip it out.
Don't
man.
get. Sean was like, "Oh, whoa, okay."
What in the
Let me zip this back up here.
Sean over here is opening up. Sean's here, by the way.
Hey, I'm Sean. What's happening? Yeah, Land of the Lost 2009 remake of the original.
The television
which
show
was-
from what was that? The 70s?
Television show was 91 to 92.
No. There's an old there's a.
But
70s.
the original Land of the 74 to 77.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Oh, I see. And Sean is right now looking at IMDb again, which is a great source. And I see, I actually made a note that IMDb gave it a 5.4 out of 10. Is that still true, Sean? Phone Master?
That's correct. 5.4.
I disagree.
You disagree with that one?
I would also say that I disagree with that rating. I don't know. I would say it's at least like a 7.
You give it a 7?
Yeah,
Something
I
like
agree. Higher. I think 5 is
Could even be maybe an 8.
Maybe, man.
8.2.
The word, at least 5.4 out of 10 isn't as bad as Rotten Tomatoes score, which is 26%, which I think that's kind of low.
Yeah.
Those Rotten Tomatoes, man, they're rotten.
They can be rotten.
That's
They
rough.
could be real rot.
They can be pretty rotten. Yeah.
Metascore says it gave it a 32. It doesn't say out of what.
Metascore?
Yeah, whatever the hell that is. I don't
Probably
know.
out of
Metascore.
Metascore. Meta, who gives a shit? It's probably out of 100.
Yeah. I'm assuming
What does
it's.
meta mean anyway?
I'm assuming it's out of 100. I don't think it's like 30 out of 40%.
What's meta mean? Do you guys know what meta means? What does it mean? I hear the kids say it.
I know, it's some newfangled shit.
What do you mean
I
the
don't-
kids say
I
it?
don't know what
What?
I'm trying to sound cool.
That's
People,
so.
kids, I don't know, people say, that's so meta. I'm like, what
Yeah.
the fuck are you talking
I don't
about?
get it, man.
I don't know,
Meta.
maybe I'm just dumb, but I don't know. what
Maybe
meta
I'm just
means.
old.
You're getting old. This meta.
I
I don't know
remember
about
people
this meta
saying.
business.
People used to say awesome. I
Wow,
thought.
you know what? It just gets more interesting. I'm reading
Facts
a
from
little more,
Sean.
And apparently this movie won 2 awards, 2 Razzie Awards.
Aww.
Yeah, for worst remake, ripoff, or sequel, and also worst actor, Will Ferrell.
What? No.
Yeah, which I think is like some
No,
ass.
that's a huge ass.
No.
That's not meta, you guys.
That's so unmeta. I believe we're using it correctly. Yeah,
Yes.
That's so unmeta.
No, look.
I don't know.
the truth is, look, I love Will Ferrell as much as the next guy, but he's Will Ferrell. He's exactly the same kind of acting as he is in all his movies. You know what I mean?
I thought he was funny though.
Yeah, and he's funny.
I mean, I know.
It's like his acting was bad. Worst
I don't
actor.
think it was. Yeah, I think that's a little harsh.
Give it to the girl.
Yeah.
Alright, Jesus. Just kidding. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just trying to. You can't give it to the monkey guy. He did a good job. Chaka.
Yeah, no, I don't. But no, really, I
Well,
don't
the
think
girl's
anybody's acting was bad.
No, the acting was
Yeah.
fine.
Like, I mean,
I didn't get that impression from anybody.
I don't think it was overly done either. You know, like his comedy. I don't think it was.
Yeah, because I could see how some people, feel kind of hit or miss about Will Ferrell, and I could see that.
Right.
Yeah,
I
for
usually
sure.
I like the majority of his stuff. I can't really even think of something right now that I thought oh, that was really bad, and I didn't. I mean, some people may feel differently, but personally, I never thought that any of his stuff was like so horrible that I couldn't watch it.
Yeah. Well, interesting. Liz, do you think your least favorite Will Ferrell is Anchorman?
Yeah.
Which is
ironic. And I know it is. It's like the best. It's what ever made him love him so much. But
it made him a movie star too.
Yeah, I'm just backwards. I'm weird.
But I agree.
I like it.
I kind of agree.
I will say that the second Anchorman I didn't think was a good movie overall, but I don't think it was because he was bad in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I still thought he had some funny stuff, but at the same time, I think
maybe
it was
he got
also
maybe too over the top though. Maybe
there were parts.
Like the acting's fine. I mean, it's a comedic actor. I mean, it's
right.
The acting's fine.
Oh yeah, like
but
that's what I mean.
Maybe if things go too over the top, maybe that's when. I know I didn't like Anchorman 2. I thought it was kind of rough.
Yeah, I mean, like the first one. Like I don't mean like I don't know. I just feel like there's other things that he has done. Like I thought he was funnier in this.
I think so.
Like it's just I go based on how much am I laughing during this, like really laughing. So that's why I said like Anchorman was just not my favorite. And I know like a lot of people are probably like, what the hell's the matter with you? But I just didn't like. I thought. I mean, it doesn't mean I didn't think anything. Like, it's not that I think nothing was funny in Anchorman, you know, but
Anchorman had great parts.
But it just overall, maybe I just didn't like the character that much. Like, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe just for me, I didn't find it as funny as everybody else did. But
well, I agree with you, Liz, that I don't think that Anchorman was Will Ferrell's best movie.
Right. Yeah.
Whether or not it was what he broke out with.
Yeah.
I think that like Step Brothers was a way better movie.
Yeah, I agree.
I thought that was pretty hilarious. And yeah, Land of the Lost, because we're supposed to talk about that movie.
That's fine. We're cool. We're good, man. Yeah. Ferrell, I mean, we're good.
But still, yeah, it's just the fact that they gave him worst actor.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't think his acting is bad. Yeah, you know,
it's his acting. Like I said, it's like the same in all the movies. Like it's not like, oh, his acting was really good in this movie. It's like, no, it's like, that's Will Ferrell, like the same type of sense of humor. And
I mean, all you could really say is, like, what level he took that acting to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, you could say, this time he was a little over the top, or this time, like, it was just right, or maybe even this time, like, I didn't feel like there was enough of his usual kind of humor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always, like, his brand of humor, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean. I agreed. I think he did a good job with this one. I don't think it was too much.
Yeah, it was good.
I thought he did he did a funny job playing a scientist, and you know, it's not like I'm looking like I don't believe any of it. Like I did.
Yeah.
And like someone who like, you know, he fell on hard times or whatever because they kicked him out of the science and at the program or whatever, and everyone treats him like a joke, and he's like struggling.
Very Ghostbusters like, you know, they get kicked out and.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, I think he did a good job with that. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, that's...
Like, being bummed out, but still, he was still making it funny, you know?
Well, that's what I know we've talked about, and we've talked about in the other underrated, overrated episodes. Like, when there's reviews on comedies, like, what are they reviewing? Like, okay, like, if Rotten Tomatoes gave it 26%, IMDb gave it 5.4 out of 10, like, are they, like, reviewing the like actual movie, or like do they just, or like the comedy level of, like, do they not think it's funny? Because if that's the case, then it's like we were just saying, that's kind of bogus, because everyone has different senses of humor and style of comedy, and it's like you can't really
at that point it's just that critic's personal opinion of the humor of that movie. So if that's what they were looking at.
If exactly that. Well, that's what I'm curious at, because I don't know, like 26%, like that's kind of, I don't know, man. That's kind of harsh. I mean, I think it's fine. I mean, it's...
Yeah.
I mean, as a critic, like, obviously, like, you're supposed to be able to give, you know, very strong opinions about whatever it is that you're critiquing. But at the same time, it's just, I don't know. Sometimes I just think that they're just so full of themselves, because
I think so.
If you've gotten to be a successful critic, I feel like they all have pretty big heads. You know, because they just think, like, everyone just goes by everything that I say. Everyone believes everything I say. And so I'm like, you know, some kind of god or something. And I'm like, dude, I mean, your job, I think we talked about this before, like, the job of a critic is pretty much a joke.
Yeah, it's kind of bogus.
It's like being a weatherman.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter what you say.
That's a whole other can of worms.
For any Weatherman fans out there.
Yeah, sorry.
Hashtag bash on Weatherman.
Right, yeah.
But
no
anyway,
offense, you never know who's listening.
So, let's write a book called Suck It, Critics. Or no, Critics Can Suck It, I think is... Because it was Matt Lauer
can suck it. Land of the Lost. See that? Yeah, I like that. I like that Matt Lauer stuff. That's
even the opening scene when he's interviewing him on America.
Yeah, so we could start. We could go a little bit through the movie. So the opening scene, Liz.
I mean, I'm like my point is just the opening scene made me crack up as soon as it started. It's Matt Lauer and he's interviewing him because he's a scientist or whatever, and Will Ferrell is just like. He's like kind of being like kind of an idiot.
Cocky.
Yeah. Because he has this dumb expression. He goes to shake his hand and he just completely ignores him and keeps talking. And it's like kind of hanging there for a little bit and he pulls it back. But I like that's an example of kind of his comedy. But I don't think it was forced or anything. Like I think it looked funny. Like, if you did that and you were awkward because someone's being a jerk and you're like, oh, well, you know.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he was trying to make it funnier than it was, I guess. I don't know.
I do think that's a staple of Will Ferrell's humor is that, like, he always makes that, like, awkward kind of face.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in, like, a lot of his different stuff. But, I mean, I feel like a lot of other people could try that and not be able to pull it off.
Right. Yeah, it works for him. He can do it.
I think that he's definitely like. I think Will Ferrell's like one. I don't want to say a gimmick, but like he's just kind of so not like funny looking, but like in a good way. Like one of those things like he would look funny eating a sandwich. You know what I mean? Like
some people just are.
Some people have
like
his
mannerisms just naturally are just like humorous.
Yeah.
But that I think the opening scene's pretty fun. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
When he says like you spent $50 million of your own money, and he's like, that's adorable. No.
Yeah.
It was the taxpayers' money.
Yeah. He's like, I don't have that kind of money.
So I thought it was a pretty good setup, and then it cuts to him being the high school teacher. Or middle school. Was it middle school or high school? Middle school.
I think it's middle school, because they looked young, yeah.
Well, we were talking about that, too, like, watching that scene, and we had some, like, at least one cameo, the little boy. I'm not sure his name.
From Role Models?
But he's in Role Models, which I imagine came out probably around the same time. You said, Land of Lost was 2009, you said?
Yeah, so
2009.
Yeah, find that.
Bobby J. Thompson is the kid's name.
When did Role Models come out? It should say.
Let's see.
Because I would imagine that came out before
He looks about the same age. So,
yeah.
Role Models was 2008.
Oh, yeah, so it was about a year before.
Yeah.
Which is a great movie, by the way. But, so there was kind of nice little kid cameo. But we were talking about, though, that, like, how awesome was that day for those background extra kids? Oh, come in, kids, and sit down for 10 hours and just listen to Will Ferrell riff, because he's probably improvising like half that shit.
Right.
My lord.
Especially with young kids, it had to be difficult to get them all straight-faced to do those takes. Mm-hmm. Even if some of the kids had done acting before and had some experience with it, I mean, they're still kids, you know. And as goofy as Will Ferrell is, it had to be tough.
And I'm sure those kids would know who he is.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I mean, kids know who Will Ferrell is, right? I mean,
I would think so.
Elf, and he's done a handful of
family movies. Some family movies, yeah, sure.
Which was funny because I remember when we bought this DVD of Land of the Lost, which was $1, well worth it. I thought it was like a PG, like family, like kid type of movie, but like I remember seeing it actually at your place, Sean, like years ago, and thinking this seems pretty funny. Like this has some funny parts, and I saw it. Let's get this movie, and it's pretty like it's pretty raunchy, like a hard PG-13 movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like Danny McBride had some pretty like risque things to say, like regarding the girl,
the mug that's just boobs and no head,
or they're like touching that thing, singing that.
Oh yeah, the vibrating.
Oh,
and he's like, "Hey, Holly, why don't you come sit on this?" It's like, Jesus, that's like.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
My lord.
Which I mean, I'm sure that there's probably some younger kids that saw that at some point, and that's one of those jokes that went over their heads.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know what, and it's he says it quickly.
That's true.
they slide it in there. So is it like an adult, you pick up on it, but like if you were watching with your kids,
or he's just like, he may get wet on this ride. He's like, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Mary Poppins over there.
Yeah,
it's
like she wouldn't. Like you wouldn't
kids,
get it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, absolutely. Right.
They wouldn't have understood.
They probably just laugh. And I mean, I remember when I was little or younger, I guess, and I would watch The Naked Gun. Because of Leslie Nielsen, because he would make funny expressions. It was still a lot of slapstick.
PG. That's PG. That's back when PG movies could have like nudity. Because there's nudity in that movie.
But I'm saying it was even like there was a lot of slapstick. So as a kid, you don't pick up on what they're saying really. Yeah. And I remember there was like a part where he said something like,
"Nice beaver."
And I didn't get that at all. I was just like, oh, it's a giant stuffed beaver. That's weird. Like I didn't get it. I don't know. And then it was that. And then there was another part where she says something to him. Priscilla Presley says to him, are you ever afraid of your gun going off in your pants? Because he carries a gun around with him. He's like, well, I used to have that problem, but I think about baseball. And like, I didn't know what that meant. Yeah. I literally thought he was afraid his gun's going to go off. So he didn't want to think about it, so he would just distract himself and think about baseball. And then when I got older, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I was laughing at a sex joke at 10. I'm like, oh, this is great.
Baseball, God, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean.
I would love to I want to rewatch Who Framed Roger Rabbit, because I love that movie as a kid, but I bet you there's a lot of...
I did see
jokes
that a lot as a kid.
Right over your head as a kid.
Well, that's something else. Like
especially with the cartoon chick that had like the huge cleavage.
Jessica Rabbit, yeah, man.
Yeah. That could be another episode where we want to talk about movies with adult content that you miss as a kid. But
wasn't that another topic for this one too? The cleavage shots.
Yeah, we were watching some of it this evening when Sean arrived over here. And it was like every time, it seemed like every few seconds we looked up, like, there's a cleavage shot going on.
Of her, bending over or something. Name, which,
Anna Friel, Friel.
Oh, okay.
Anna Friel. Which I remember, I think we kind of talked about the fact that I don't remember really seeing her in anything else.
No, me neither.
Yeah, I mean, negative.
Like, she was, like, a decent enough actress, I
don't think it was bad, yeah.
But I wonder...
But it was, like watching it, like, it did seem... Well, Liz, you could probably talk more about this.
What?
It just seemed like... I don't know. It was almost, like, so in your face that this character is here just to kind of be like, oh, here's the hot girl that's with them in the movie, like the cliche, like kind of cliche is what I'm trying to say.
Like, I mean, like her acting was good. It's not that, but I think like, because Danny McBride's funny, Will Ferrell's funny, everybody in there did their job, but I just think in terms of like her character, like I just think she could have maybe made more jokes or I don't know, like, it's so clear that she's just in love with him right away, and, like, I get that, I totally get that, that's the thing of the characters and all that, but I just think, she could have still treated him like, he's really smart, but he's, like, an idiot, too. That's all, like, whenever he is running, like, or just certain things that he has, ideas that he comes up with, and they fail, and they just all look at each other and roll their eyes, like, she could be laughing, too, instead it's like, don't make fun of him. It's just kind of annoyed me, because I'm like, come on.
Yeah, that's true. I guess she didn't really have a lot of, like, one-liners, or just, like, she didn't really say as many funny things as the other characters did.
Yeah.
That was my beef with it.
I mean, maybe she was just supposed to be, like the logical one.
Like the straight character. I guess there always has to be, like, a straight character.
I understand that.
Because I guess, I could imagine her just filling that role of being the one that asks the questions that the audience would ask, like being that character, which, I mean, I can't really cite specific lines in the movie or scenes or anything, but I don't know, maybe that's what they were going for, but I agree, like, I feel like there could have been more to her character.
Yeah, just even like when Danny McBride would make a few comments and like, when they're both on the same page, but she won't like outwardly agree with him. Like I don't know what he's doing. Like just something. It would have been funnier, I think, if she did.
And she had I'm looking at her notes here, and the introduction of Chaka. It's like they have that little that breast grabbing bit. where they're all like, which is funny, but it kind of, I don't know, but that was funny. But I want to talk about Chaka.
Yeah.
Played by, how do you say his name? Jorma Taccone. Taccone.
Jorma. I your guess is as good as mine.
It's a very interesting name, but
yeah. But yeah, I mean, I like that guy. Like, he seems like he's like a funny guy. I believe he does a lot of writing and stuff.
He directs. You know what? Actually, he directed. Well, he's part of. Yeah, which is funny because we did another episode about The Watch, and the director of The Watch, Akiva, is part of Lonely Island.
He was the third.
It's
the
like
other guy?
Akiva, Jorma Taccone, and Andy Samberg are the three Lonely Island. Man. And Jorma is great. I mean, he writes. He was on writer and performer on SNL, and he directed MacGruber. I know he definitely directed that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And but yeah, man, wow, like we were talking about, like what impressive makeup effects on him.
Yeah, that was,
Like,
I mean,
doesn't look like him at all.
You know, a lot of times either just by hearing the voice for long enough, or sometimes just certain facial features, even if there is makeup, you'll eventually be like, oh shit, that's this person.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they did a good job in this one, because it wasn't until I looked at IMDb that I knew that he played Chaka.
Yeah, I would never guess.
No idea.
No idea. And I can usually pick up people too, and I was really, like,
it's
surprised that
I mean, granted, he didn't really speak English in the movie, so
yeah, so you couldn't tell.
That kind of helps
with
disguise
his voice.
it,
but even so, I mean, I going in, like, I knew that was him. Like, I remember, like, I know, but watching it, like, even knowing, I still, like, I cannot see him. Like, I don't know, maybe he has different colored contacts in too. Like, maybe, I'm not sure, but it's like, my lord, man.
Yeah.
Like, my lord, and he did a great job, and like we were talking, like. As an actor, like for him, like as an actor, like walking on all fours, like all day, and like every shot, like sitting there, like that, like that's fucking hard, man. Do that like for 5 minutes, and you'll probably be like, God, fuck, man, like
seriously.
Sucks.
And in that, like hair suit or whatever it was
out
that
in the
he was
sun,
wearing out in the desert,
he probably
and
had
shit.
a brutal time, but he did a good job. So like, definitely props to him, man, because that's. Like, if you want to give props to in that movie, it's as far as, like, taking a beating, let's say, like, dude, for him, for sure, man.
And also, I mean, that was one of the big things that, again, I had just learned recently about this movie that makes me feel like it's even more underrated, because he's a really talented guy, like, funny guy, like you said, he directs, he writes, acts, all that stuff.
Been around.
And that was something that I never knew, so now it's even more so and even more underrated, I think.
I think so. I still can't get over that Will Ferrell getting the worst actor. Like, it just doesn't make no sense to me. Yeah, like, speaking with Jorma, like, the acting was fun. Like, there was no point where it was like, that seemed like acting. It seemed like acting. You know like, sometimes you can tell in movies, and it's always the movies that are the fucking serious ones.
Like, it's not...
When that happens.
Right, I was going to say, like, this isn't like Les Miserables or something,
No, I agree. I never thought that. And I like the way they... It was an interesting topic, I think. To have him be, like... To pick him... Well, not topic, I guess, but, like, the base of the whole plot about him being this scientist, and he invents this, what is it, tachyon device, he calls it?
I think that's what it's called.
Or amplifier, and he...
Yeah.
I think that's right, tachyon amplifier.
And he talks about going to not forward or backwards in time, but to
sideways.
Specific... Yeah, like sideways, so it's past, present, and future. So I thought that was...
I wonder what I wish one of us saw like the original show to see the compare, because I did look it up, like there is like a Chaka.
Oh really?
And there is like a Holly, and I think maybe.
Well, one thing I did read about this movie is that apparently before the character of Holly, I guess, takes off whatever shirt she had over top of the undershirt, and she rips the pant legs off to make shorts out of her pants. Apparently, before she did that, like, the outfit she was wearing was supposed to be true to the outfit that the Holly character wore in the original series. I mean, not that that's like super enlightening.
I was that was good.
And
one of those little things. It was like, all right, they're trying to pay tribute to the original here.
Right. If you were a fan of the original, then you would like that.
I think again, like I'm not certain, but I'm assuming that some of the music cues in this movie is probably from the original. Like it seemed like the main theme in this movie. I'm guessing. If anyone out there knows, straighten us up and leave a comment and tell us what's up with this. But I'm assuming that it sounds like it's like a 70s theme almost. So this is probably from the show.
It makes me want to go watch the show at some point.
Yeah. Always lizard people. That was always interesting. And there was some nice foreshadowing. See, this movie... Yeah, if a movie had some foreshadowing, that puts in thought. Like, that's some good filmmaking, I think.
I agree.
But, because when they're doing the water or the tour through the cave on the boat, there's the lizard people, and then when they're there in the alternate dimension, it's
they're lizard people or something. Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's all. Yeah. I mean, there's some kind of fascination with just being lizards.
It's either aliens or lizard people. It's never elephant people. Oh yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, right. Like giraffe.
But I'm just saying, it's always like a wild lizard. Like I don't like. I'm just saying, it seems like a common theme. Any sci-fi stuff, like an alien.
Right. I don't know. I mean,
maybe because alien. I don't know. Yeah, it is weird. It is kind of weird.
I guess because maybe there's just something about like dinosaurs, which also is part of the movie.
Right. Yeah, and that's true.
Like a reptilian.
Yeah.
Kind of, and I don't know. I guess there's just something about not only that, but even think about like an alligator or a crocodile. They're like reptilian. They've been around since the dinosaurs. The time of the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's why like a little bit of my nature show shit. We talked about that last time.
Sean likes to drop random nature hints. Go on.
Yes.
I do. Some more information for your mind. That apparently, like crocodiles and alligators have been around since the time of the dinosaurs, which is why they're kind of like perfect killing machines. Mm-hmm. And they, them and like sharks, I think, like they don't get diseases. Like, again, and sharks have also been around since dinosaurs. These old ass fucking animals, man, they know what's up.
They know how to do it.
They know something.
They're on something.
There's no shark people, or are there?
I bet there's been shark people.
What was that cartoon? The shark skaters, or what were they?
Oh, Street Sharks.
Street Sharks, yeah, man.
Hell yeah, that was like if the Ninja Turtles were sharks, basically.
I guarantee that's how the pitch went too. It's Ninja Turtles, but sharks.
Like, sold.
It's like turtles, but sharks.
I mean, well, even Ninja Turtles, like they're reptiles. There's something about reptile people.
Yeah,
they are. They're turtles or reptile. Yeah.
How about when you guys watch this? I called it out instantly. Like, did you think like when they meet like that Lizard King, he's like, "Oh, you guys have to help me." Like, were you like, bullshit? He's bad.
You know what? I don't remember what I thought the first time that I saw it, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I was a little gullible on that one.
A little bit. Even McBride says he's like, I never trust anyone with a tunic. I told you.
He said never steered me wrong.
I think that was decent writing though, because just the fact that when he says that, it just seems like one of those random joke one-liners.
Like you wouldn't expect him to say that.
Yeah, and then for it to come back and be like, that's why we made him wear like a tunic to show that and you get validation. Right. And it's like, oh fuck, okay.
Yeah, like his ridiculous theory was like proved like it's some rule in another dimension somewhere. Like this is how we punished him, whatever. So I thought that was pretty funny.
I think that's why I like this movie and why I think it's funny, because it is like. It's almost like, would you like call it like, would you be like, it's like stupid? Like a lot, like even like, I mean, I love Will Ferrell, but like, in a good way. Like they're just such like stupid movies, but they're so funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like his the tachyon amplifier he makes to take them back in time or wherever in Sideways. It plays show tunes. Yeah. It plays a chorus line. I mean, it's like that was random. I remember when that happened, I started laughing. So
I know.
Like randomness always makes me laugh. So when it came on and she was like, "Is this playing a chorus line?" It's like, look, yeah, okay. Yes. Like, and I can't remember how for some reason that.
Actually, Oh, some more information. Some IMDb information.
Yes.
Sean's Mr. Fact.
That song that keeps playing is from the musical Chorus Line, or A Chorus Line. Which I've never seen.
Me neither. But honestly, the only time I heard that song was there was a Seinfeld episode.
Oh, that's right.
Elaine's like roommates like auditioning probably for Chorus Line.
For that, yeah.
And Elaine's like
they're singing it.
No,
well,
she said her roommate tried out for it, and she's waiting to hear back, and she said, my roommate keeps walking around the apartment going, I hope I get it. I hope I get it. So, yeah, when I heard that, I'm like, oh, that must be the song that they were talking
and then when it came on Land of the Lost, it was like, oh, man, this is now I think about that movie. And God damn, that song gets in your head, man. At least it gets in our heads, man. We're singing it right fucking song.
I hope I get it. I hope I get it.
I really need this job.
If you've never heard it, listen to it right now.
Chorus line called Gotta Get It.
No, I don't. That's probably completely wrong. But.
No. What do you mean? No, if you search up Chorus line, Gotta Get It.
Gotta get
yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
How dare you? How dare you question my show tune?
Well, I thought I saw a tunic in your closet. So.
That song was the opening number of that musical.
Oh, right.
Damn.
It will never get out of your head. As soon as it gets out of my head, I hear someone singing it, and it gets right back into my head.
That was one of the things about this movie that had stuck in my head from the first time that I ever watched it. Even before I just watched it again recently, like it had been years since I'd seen it, that was still like the part that I remembered.
Yeah.
I hope I get it.
Yeah.
I hope I get it.
And then he's dancing and when they retrieve it, like, or well, that's funny too. They find it and the fucking out of nowhere that pterodactyl just fucking takes it.
Yeah.
Like, you got it, guys. It's like he's like, well, it sucks.
Yeah.
It's like, this really
sucks.
And Danny McBride, he was just a tour guide in the middle of some cave desert thing.
He had some like fireworks shop, like some like or some tour or
he was like a touristy place for the cave that they wanted to go into because that was the portal.
Yeah.
And obviously he doesn't know that, so he's trying to sell these little gadgets and things, but he goes with them, and I like how the whole time he keeps making comments, like he's so blown away by everything, and they're just like looking at him like, well, yeah. So anyway, because there's a part where like all these like I think a thing of bats come flying out. And he's like, oh, they all like dive out of the way. There's like finally something cool happened. Oh, I guess you guys have seen that before too in your lab or something, right? Like unfazed.
He says it so funny.
He's like, oh, you guys probably seen that too.
he's like, could you guys please stop acting like this shit happens every day?
Right, yeah. So
Danny McBride was probably it's 2009, so Pineapple Express definitely came out before that. I'm pretty sure that was 2007 or 8. I think 2008. So Danny McBride was like really becoming a pretty big star.
2008 for Pineapple Express.
And he's great, man. I think he's hilarious.
You know what? I do think that he's a funny guy. Now the first few times I had seen him in different movies, I wasn't sure how I felt about him. I feel like he kind of grew on me. Oh man. You know, honestly, I think one of the first movies that I saw him in might have been Hot Rod.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, he is in that.
With Jorma, maybe.
Which I thought he was great in Hot Rod, but there were also some other things, and maybe it was just like hearsay that, you know, from people that just didn't like his type of humor as much.
Yeah.
But I'd heard people say, you know, that they were kind of hit and miss on him also, but I mean, again, like Will Ferrell in this movie, I thought he was great.
Yeah.
I thought he was funny, man.
And that just also, again, that comes back around to the whole, like, look, man, like, if you just don't think this person's funny, then you just don't. Like, his performances are fine. I mean, his reactions are fine. Like, it doesn't seem like he's acting. He's good.
Yeah, I never thought that either.
I would like to know more about his history. I know he has a writing partner, and they did like Eastbound and Down, which I haven't really seen much, but what I have seen seems really funny.
I hadn't seen it, but I did hear actually good things about the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's another guy that was, I don't know, he was, I think he was a good fit for this movie.
I think so. It was perfect. And then he stays back at the end.
Yeah.
It's like great.
It's like, I'm staying, man. This is better for me and blah blah blah.
It's such a classic. Like, wonder how many movies is that's such a classic thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like
at the end of like they're going out of wherever mysterious place they're at, and there's always one character who's like, "No, man, I belong here."
Right, because they didn't fit into this world, so they're like, "Oh, I'm like normal here," you know.
Yeah,
and
well,
the one
like in the third, and you know, most people would say like the worst Ninja Turtles movie. When they go back in time, actually, at the end, Michelangelo is gonna stay.
Oh, really?
And then he doesn't.
He doesn't, yeah.
But he was gonna do that too. So yeah, that pops up in movies when they go to like some other dimension or something like that. Somebody always wants to stay. But again, I feel like that was another reason why Danny McBride was a good fit for this, because he's just good. Like, and even in what was that movie? The End of the World.
Oh yeah, This is the End.
Or This is the End. He kind of like.
Dude, he's hilarious.
You know, he kind of like chooses to.
He does
like, become a part of that fucked up society.
Mm-hmm.
He just is like, yeah, I'm a cannibal now. You know, like he just like.
He just adjusted.
Like it was Pogs or something. He just started to get into it.
Sure, yeah, Pogs.
Pogs. What did I say? I don't know.
Pogs.
They're coming back. Dude.
That's an ancient reference.
No, if Pokemon came back, fucking Pogs can have a return.
Well, that's could be another
I'm chasing Pogs.
Gotta slam them all.
Yeah. Slammers.
I know. You know part in this movie that I thought was gross was the mosquito.
Oh yeah.
It is kind of gross.
But it was gross. The gigantic mosquito lands on his back, and
it's funny. He's like
he's sucking all of his blood. It's disgusting.
What's in
That's something that would make me not want to stay. Is the giant bugs? No, thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Well, it's like the way that they did the CG for that. Like again, like the neck bite is not as bad, but when it's on his back, like it's so inflated.
It's disgusting.
It's just so gross.
And they didn't tell him. They're watching it like, oh god, like.
I did like that after he falls, they're like, there was a bug on you. But it's gone now.
Yeah, because he's killed it.
Like, that was freaking disgusting.
Just a side note, if there's a giant bug on me, guys.
You know, I heard someone say that the, like with the mosquito, like that the CGI wasn't like, 100% up to par. But I feel like with a movie like this, fucking doesn't have to be, man. You're there for the laughs. You're not there to see like dinosaurs, like truthfully.
Yeah,
you're there to laugh.
If you see who the lead characters are, like you can't go into it expecting it to be anything other than a comedy.
It's a comedy.
Yeah, I'm not doing calculations. Oh, this isn't accurate. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, for an example, I wanted to just jump back a little bit to before they go through the time warpiness. When he actually finished building the amplifier and she comes and finds him. I feel like that whole scene was just kind of showcasing Will Ferrell's ability to ad-lib.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
because his whole thing about like his like food, his like food obsession or something when he gets stressed out. He's talking about powering through a 12-inch veggie sub from Subway or something.
Yeah.
It's like 14,000 calories later. I found myself in a Subway.
See, that kind of like, to me, that whole scene was like, that could have been on SNL.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Dude,
like,
he probably, I'm sure the whole movie.
Where he's just spitting out random stuff and they're just cutting together what they like.
Yeah. And he makes the vault reference about his motivational poster.
That vault is class. It's pretty
was if you don't make it, it's your own damn vault. And it's just a guy like pole vaulting. And I said to myself, is that gonna be?
Which comes back too.
But he comes back 3 times because he says that in the beginning, and then in the middle when he's giving up, and he's like, I'm just gonna lay in the back of this car with my hand in my pants because it's my. It's. You know what they say. If you don't make it, it's your own damn vault. It's like he's bummed out.
And Danny says,
and Danny
you mean your own fault?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, Rip, you could be Will, I'll be Danny.
Okay, go ahead.
Start again.
If you know what they say,
you
don't make it, it's your own damn vault.
You mean your own fault?
No, vault. It's on a poster in my classroom.
That's really freaking stupid.
Oh my God, Danny, is that you?
Danny McBride.
I thought Danny McBride was in here. Wow.
Special guest.
Wow.
Danny boy.
But
performance.
That was
fun.
That was one of the things in that made me laugh really hard because it's so stupid.
Yeah.
It is so dumb. It's your own damn vault.
But then that comes back and which is
I know, but but Danny
the first time
McBride's
is good though because he like says that and he's like, that's a bitch slap of truth right there.
Yeah, like what? No, it isn't. It's just so stupid, and it shows someone like pole vaulting. Like it just runs.
It's like you've seen in every high school classroom.
Yeah, it's your own damn vault.
Like that hang in there poster with the kitten hanging
oh,
yeah. Something. Like,
creative, guys.
At least that, but
I love school now. Thanks.
I feel so much better to be here.
That 20% didn't affect my self-esteem.
Well, if anyone out there knows where we can get a printout or a poster
my own damn vault.
My own damn vault. Let us know. Comment below. Let us know because I could see it.
I really want
it in
it.
our dining room.
I hope I get it.
I hope
really
I get it.
It was one of those things that I was like laying in bed going to sleep, and that it was mainly Danny McBride's reaction to it when he tells him why he said vault, and he was just like, that is really freaking stupid. Like it's just his reactions to him were so funny.
Come on, Chaka.
I could not stop laughing. Like that's dumb.
Oh man, that is pretty great.
And he pole vaults into the dinosaur's mouth at the end. It's like it's my own damn vault.
Yeah, well, Danny McBride says again, he's like finishes the line for him.
Like they're so enlightened. Oh wow.
Oh, it all came full circle.
It's so stupid. And he goes right into his mouth.
And then when he shows back up,
yeah,
riding the dinosaur, and it's like so epic and everything. You know, it's supposed to be this uplifting, like, yeah, they're gonna win. And then they just all have to take a moment to be like, how did you get out of that dinosaur?
Yeah.
And he does not want to talk about how it shit him out.
How did he get the pee though? He just did he find the dinosaur and just
he doesn't? I guess he doesn't actually admit to how he got that one.
It's a funny scene though, man.
Yeah, it's like it's burning.
He's like, I'm gonna do it again and see if it makes it worse. It's 10 times worse now.
Yeah, he had a thing of pee. And
dinosaur pee, right?
Yeah, he somehow collected some dinosaur urine while they were sleeping.
Right, and then he was saying like, oh, they detect like heat or something. So
like if you smell like them, they won't smell you out. Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So just cover yourself.
The classic,
it's like
as Sean probably knows, a classic nature animal forest move.
Sean, is that possible, nature man?
It could be.
Oh,
as well as staying, downwind. So they can't smell you.
See, Sean's here to be accurate with all the animal references in nature. If anyone gets
lost in nature, better be. Hope to God you're with Sean. Over here.
Yeah.
So don't worry, guys. We got this. I know we can eat this. Man. We can eat this type of bark and.
Sean's like, I saw this on a show.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. There's all kinds of random facts rattling around up there.
But yeah, the
a lot of random scenes in this movie, like that pee scene.
Can we talk about the intelligent T-Rex?
Oh yeah, that's a good part.
That of course you see
Subplot.
It when you first see it. If you would just think it was like any other time you've seen a T-Rex in a movie, like Jurassic Park, like they're just wild animals that are doing what they do. But this one apparently gets its feelings hurt.
Yeah, it understands what he's saying.
Because it can understand. That Will Ferrell says it has the brain of a walnut, and really emphasizing it too.
Like over and over.
Polish.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like going on and on. I mean, it's the size of a walnut. Remember, I mean, forget about the Polish. These are the real dummies. What the hell is he talking about?
Oh man!
And so it's
Is that true though? Is T-Rex's brain? Do you know, Sean? Are their brains supposed to be the size?
Sean, is it true?
Dino Man Sean himself.
I'd have to check my sources. But,
make a few calls.
No, I think that is true. I think they had pretty tiny brains. But as far as the other the other native creatures like Chaka and his primate, maybe even early human type of race. I remember there's a good line From Will Ferrell again, fuck you, Razzie Awards.
Yeah, right.
Good line by Will Ferrell where he's like, after Danny McBride loses the lighter to the monkey people,
and
they run away, and he's like, "Great, you've just given murderous primitives the
power of
gift
fire.
of fire," or something like that.
Yeah.
I just love that. You've just given a gang of murderous primitives the power of fire.
Yeah,
How does she know, like, Chaka's language?
Well, she explained it in one part. Yeah, she's like, "Oh, I studied with."
Yeah.
She
said something like it was like an early form of language or something.
Yeah, but she does mention that she studied it, so that's why she's able to.
I'm curious to check out the show just to see like the references and what kind of similarities there are.
Yeah, because I didn't know about the Chaka thing.
But yeah. When I looked up on IMDb, there was a Chaka, there was a Marshall.
Well, from what I was seeing, or looking up here, it looks like there was only ever a TV show before. Is that it was never a movie before?
I think as far as I knew, it looked like
because there was a TV show. Like there was the original series, and then there was a remake of the series in the early '90s, and then this,
and then the movie, which I guess bombed. Probably. I don't know. Does it say how much money it made?
The budget was like $100 million. They made back like 64. So yeah, like it was kind of rough for them in terms of making their money back, but I still just I don't know.
It was just look. And the truth is, like, if you like Will Ferrell, I mean, I don't want to sit back and say, oh, it's just a classic Will Ferrell movie, but kind of. I mean, like, it's just as funny as the other ones, I would say. I mean, if you like Anchorman, I don't see why you wouldn't like that. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't like this. Or wouldn't think he's funny.
It's still silly and random.
It's silly and random, yeah. But
one other thing, I guess, that is similar between the original series and the movie is that I guess in both cases, the character Holly nicknamed the T-Rex Grumpy.
Oh.
So there's some mediocre fact for you.
Fact man again.
They write it in here like it's supposed to be really interesting. I don't know.
So I bet it's probably one of those things though. Like you know what? I bet you had like. Older generations going to theater. I love this show when I was a kid, Billy. Let's watch it. And it's like, this sucks.
You know what? I think I actually might have even watched the 90s remake series with my dad as a kid. I actually think that's true.
We gotta use a lifeline call, man.
Yeah,
because
ask.
Can we have a phone a friend?
Is it true?
Here on the podcast.
You're live on the podcast.
You're live, man.
We'll put you on speakerphone because that never sounds like shit.
I know, right?
Here's a question for everybody.
Yes, ask away, Liz Wacko.
If this happened, would you choose to stay? Would you choose to stay?
I don't know, man.
I would not.
No, I probably wouldn't.
I would not. Mostly because the chances of, on a regular basis, running into a ginormous crab that then gets instantly steamed and cooked.
For you to eat,
That's pretty fucking funny.
Is rather unlikely, I would say.
Yeah, I think you got lucky that one time.
I'll tell you, that scene makes me want to eat fucking crab legs, man.
That's true.
Crabs.
There's a giant crab running towards them, and then it falls through some sort of sand hole or something into a hot spring.
There's just like a sinkhole in the middle of the desert.
Like, Lord forbid anyone else, them or the T-Rex or anyone else falls into this fucking steam hole. It's just like this convenient crab when they're starving, all stoned up.
Right.
See, I don't think that if you chose to stay there, unless you lived with the monkey people, like Danny McBride did, then...
with those monkey women.
Which apparently are just human women.
You're right.
It's like women
half naked.
Maybe with bigger foreheads.
Just all hot, half naked.
Which is great that earlier in the movie, Chaka says that all their women are ugly.
Yeah.
And then you see them and they're all like, they could all probably be like swimsuit models and shit.
And he's like, these are your women?
These are your women?
So he obviously made the right choice for himself.
Yeah.
But What would... Okay, how about this question?
Yeah, I wouldn't stay.
What would there be a situation, hypothetically, like this, that you would want to stay? Like, what would it have to be like for you to want to stay?
That's a deep question, man.
That is a good question.
Professor, what do you think?
I feel they would have to have certain things, though, for me to be able to stay, though. Regardless of, I mean, if it was, like, the same place that they were, or, I don't know, something else like it. Like, I mean, again, like, I would want to make sure that there was definitely a food source, a reliable
Right.
food source.
Yeah.
Right.
And, you know, like, it wouldn't hurt if there was some kind of electricity so I could play video games.
That's true. I want to watch movies.
Or watch movies, yeah.
Or do anything.
Okay, well, I would, like if that was the case and I was somewhere, I mean, I think, well, I mean, what if I was in this other place, like a superhero, so then I'd want to stay.
That's true. I guess
what if you were a superhero?
Like, what if I, no, I'm saying, like, what if you went somewhere and the environment or whatever was different and you could, you know, like how Superman comes here and he can fly.
You'd be Superwoman.
Right, so I'm saying if in another world, whatever you want to call it, if I was somewhere and you had, it was almost like you are like really higher, like a super hero.
Yeah.
On their planet.
Like Superman,
yes,
like...
yes, on their planet. Because, no, I'm saying, like, yeah, that's what I mean. Because Superman, that's his weakness is, like, pieces of kryptonite from his planet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to us, in this world, he's, like, a superhuman. So, I feel like it would be tempting, at least, to stay if that would be the case. You know, if you're like, oh, I can save these people, I can help. I don't know.
It would be great, though.
Unless they made it too serious.
Because since, like, his thing, Superman's whole thing was, like, you know, the power of Earth's sun gave him his abilities and everything, but it'd be great if it was just, like, you know, like, if, yeah, Liz, you went to some other dimension, and it was just like, oh, when I eat these berries, when I eat these, I'm fucking super.
Yeah, right.
Like, something, you know, like, that was just, like, so silly compared to, like, the power of the Earth's sun.
Yeah, it'd be just real dumb.
Like, oh, when I take a pee, I can lift a truck.
Yeah, we're like, wow, you're our savior.
Goodness.
Like, yeah, I guess. And I feel like that would be tempting to...
But yeah, in that case, I could see that.
Yeah, I could agree with you on that one. I guess that would be a good scenario. That's a hard question. Clearly, you've been taking time thinking about this.
No, I wasn't.
But
I really
that's
thought
a good one. See, I was just thinking, like, what would I want there to be there?
Right, that's what I mean. What would make you want to stay, you know?
But I wasn't thinking that way at all. That's way better than what I was thinking. Like, just food. How about being fucking super? That would be way better. I wasn't thinking about this nearly enough.
Or you know, like, if I'm there and like all of my favorite foods don't make you fat. That'd be pretty sweet. That'd be tempting. That'd be tempting as well. Superhero on one hand, fettuccine alfredo is good for you on another.
It would be bad to have some crazy I
love you, family, but fettuccine alfredo over here is like a superfood. That would be it. When I eat that's when I can fly or something. Yeah.
You want cheese trees?
Yeah, I can fly. That's when I become Wonder Woman. Is when I eat Alfredo.
I would say, any weird dimension I found myself in where I could fly, clearly you could escape most, if not all, predators if you could fly.
Right. You'd think.
It'd be a good survival tactic.
As long as you can fly.
Yeah,
that's
there's
bold,
like
though,
flying
because if
manta rays and
like the
shit.
fact that it's like a one-way ticket, that's what's intimidating about that situation, because it's like,
well, it's kind of like saying, like, what would you take with you to a deserted, or to, you know, if you were going to be stranded on an island? It's the same thing. It's like,
a tough one too.
That is tough. But having superpowers is fucking up there, I would say.
Yeah, and you know, you have to consider what's a superpower. What if you were somewhere where everyone could fly and you couldn't, and they thought that was cool?
True that.
Huh.
No, guys, audience out there, really think about that one.
It's a deep one, guys.
It's kind of deep. They're all deep here in Wacko Radio.
Take that,
Lord, man.
Take that home. Chew on it a while.
Take it to the bank. As Will Ferrell says.
You can take that to the bank. Yeah.
No, I think this movie definitely had like solid one-liners. It's just another classic like Will Ferrell movie, and Like if you hate Will Ferrell, then I guess just don't watch the movie, man. I mean.
Oh yeah, another ad lib moment for Will Ferrell where I'm sure they just let him like ramble on was when he's talking into the camera in the cave, and he's talking about if we have to, we'll eat Chaka.
Yeah, and he riffs about that chef.
Keeps going on, I'm sure if it was so and so, he'd probably do a little bit of this and spring a little bit of that on that, and I'm sure at that point the Chaka meat would just fall right off the bone.
That is like dude, straight up, man. It sounds like a classic, it's
he's
classic
just
Will Ferrell riff.
Yeah.
But it's funny, man. I mean, I like it, man.
Yeah, and him and Chaka don't get along at first, and when everyone walks away, he's like, "Hey, Chaka," and he mouths, "Fuck you," and he's like, "What?" Until
they do drugs, which is the universal unifier.
That's the message, kids.
In any world.
Drugs will bring us together.
If you want to bond, truthfully, gotta get blitzed.
Well, I guess alcohol could be considered is considered a drug technically.
I guess technically,
it can help.
I mean,
it's it's the what do they call it? The well, fuck it, I can't think of it now.
The drink of the gods.
I was gonna say that.
No, a social lubricant.
What?
Whoa!
I've heard it called that though.
It went from dark to hot in here.
Kind of
talking about lubes and.
Yeah.
My Lord.
The lubrication of a
conversation. Drink of the gods is maybe a little more universally acceptable.
Yeah.
Plus, another cool thing with this movie, which
turns strangers into friends.
Yeah, I like how it starts with Matt Lauer, him on the show.
Yeah.
It ends with him on the show.
Yes,
that was
I agree. I like that
was
part
a good
too.
Call.
Oh yeah, even when they first get there and they're looking around and realizing what happened, and they're like, you know what this means?
Yeah.
Matt Lauer can suck it. Okay. Speaking of just great one-liners, and it's not even I don't even know if it's considered a whole line, but there's a part towards the end, right before Will Ferrell's about to fight the T-Rex, and he goes to grab the staff that he's gonna pole vault with.
Yeah.
And he does this horribly this horrible really slow roll on the ground, which
way off.
Like in another movie would be really quick, really smooth, oh that was awesome. But since he's Will Ferrell, he's super awkward about it. It's this really slow roll that probably the dinosaur could have just eaten him right there.
I know.
Right, yeah.
But then he gets up and he's not even close to the fucking staff, and he's like, that was stupid. That's one of my favorite lines.
That is a Will Ferrell thing. I know, the first thing I think of was in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back when he's going down the little sewer pipe. He's like, ow,
yeah,
ow.
Oh, perfect that you brought that up.
Oh yeah, ooh.
When Will Ferrell is playing a song on the banjo around the fire, apparently one of the lines he says the names Marshall, Will, and Holly. And in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, he plays a wildlife marshal named Marshall, Will, and Holly. So, little throwback there.
That's some little...
Right, we have him on the show, guys.
That's why he's here.
You call him the professor.
The professor, everybody.
I don't know about that.
Professor
You need some credentials for that I do not have.
Well, you're stating facts.
That's
what matters.
You can't see it.
Refill,
you
guys.
can't see it. Come on, man.
I've been out. I've been drinking.
It's some more of the social lubricant.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Lubrication for conversation.
I love when they
That's what I call it.
That is snazzy shit.
It is snazzy.
What'd you say?
I said lubrication for conversation.
Damn, that's
right.
Dude, that's it, guys. That's the title.
That's our motto of our podcast. Get some lubrication for your conversation on Wacko Radio.
Better write that down.
It's mine.
It's mine. Copyrighted.
T-shirts coming soon.
Well, you do all the intros anyway, so you gotta do.
That's
We'll have T-shirts, Wacko Radio, lubrication for your conversation.
That's good, man. It really is pretty fucking good, I think.
Wacko Radio, lubrication for your conversation.
Right. Exactly.
No, there was definitely definitely some great parts. I love when they're like pretending to sleep. We need someone to cross this lava, and David McBride and Chaka are just
both from a standing, clearly awake,
he slowly
and alert
just
position.
leans back, and he's like, "I know you're faking."
They just like he's still standing up under his own power, and is pretending to sleep.
His eyes just closed.
And then towards the end, when he's just like, "Seriously, man, anytime, any place, let me know. I will be there for you. I'll help you." He's like, "Yeah, really? How about now?" He's like, "Now? Like right now? Well, unfortunately, I have to pass in this one. After this, anytime."
He said, I honestly didn't think you'd called in this soon. Which is pretty funny because I feel like there's truth to that a lot of times when people say, "Hey, let me know."
Sure.
He's speaking for the general public, like right now. I mean, I don't really.
Sure.
I mean, basically, I don't feel like it.
That's
but when I feel like it, let me know, and maybe I'll help you.
Yeah.
I feel like that usually happens.
That's the truth, though, man.
That usually happens after the
goddamn
fact.
Truth.
You know, like someone has to do something, crazy on their own, and then it's always afterwards. It's like, man, dude, like anytime, man, I would be there for you. If you ever get in that situation again, never.
Right.
I'm like, I will be there for you.
I'm like, thanks, I appreciate it.
It's like you need to call and talk to Stone, and you're thinking like, don't call me ever. No, I'm just kidding.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
What's the other one? Well, I don't know if you guys have seen Deadpool, but anyway, he's about to go off and do some shit, and one of the supporting characters is like, "Hey man, I'd go with you, but I don't want to."
Yes, there's a Danny McBride-ish moment there. Yeah, I didn't think you called him this soon, but like another time, I would totally help you. And then once they go like at the end of the movie, once they're in that portal or whatever, and they're figuring out when they're making the decision to go back, and Danny McBride and Chaka are with the bad alien
Lizard
or whatever
King,
because they beat him. So he's like, "Please," and the alien's like, "Please don't leave him with me, no." You know, he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna stay." And like before that, he's talking to Will Ferrell's character, and he's like, "You're very intelligent. I don't know how you put up with all these others." And he's like, "I know,
like,
I know."
Don't know either.
Yeah, but then again, foreshadowing because he ends up staying with the alien. So
a lot of foreshadowing in this movie. Good props to them, man.
And in the very beginning, when she shows him a fossil. See? And she says there's a fossil with the lighter.
Him. Yeah.
And then and later on in the movie, it's from Will Ferrell's lighter when they're in that world or dimension or whatever. The dinosaur steps on it.
One thing I don't understand, because we're at the point of the episode where we've been talking so highly and positive about this movie, like if we can maybe discuss some cons.
That's true. We gotta do
like a little bit. Like we gotta be reasonable, I guess. But I don't understand the portal. Like, how does shit where's the shit flying? Like an ice cream truck? Like,
you mean when things fall into the...
Yeah, like I get it, like because they use that machine, which is called, I forget, but
the tachyon amplifier.
Yeah.
Professor.
Didn't even look at his notes. Damn. PhD over here.
PhD.
That's what we're gonna.
I agree though. There are some things.
Yeah.
Like they eventually get to a part like in the desert where there are a bunch of things from the modern
past, present,
world.
future.
Yeah.
And exactly. There's from all and all these things are just randomly in the desert, but
they had to use that portal, or they
I'm pretty sure that the fucking car or ice cream truck or the motel that they see that didn't have a tachyon amplifier to take it there.
Yeah.
How are these things just appearing?
I mean, is the lizard, the bad lizard king guy, is he fucking touching the crystals and sucking shit left and right?
Like, are the people just like go missing?
He's sucking left and right.
Yeah.
Phrasing. Okay.
Whoa. Explain yourself.
Well, I'm also thinking I could understand if a lot of the things that ended up there had disappeared in like the Bermuda Triangle.
Right.
Okay.
Or something like that.
Ooh, good theory, dude. Conspiracy, perhaps?
I don't know if they really touch on that at all in the movie, but that I could understand. But again, like, when is there going to be some like dude in an ice cream truck in the Bermuda Triangle? Like,
that's
what
true.
The fuck
That's
is that?
very true though too.
So on that note, they just kind of like threw it in there and breezed past it.
Yeah. So that I think was
that moment gets a Razzie.
That and the only other thing is like, not like the movie was long, but I know we've sort of talked about this a little bit earlier, but maybe like the flow got a little bit crazy towards like the last like 30 minutes. Like it was kind of either too long or spaced out or kind of not even
like out of sync a little
just
bit.
Out of sync. Like nothing necessarily dragged. I mean the movie's about an hour and 40, I think, which is like pretty respectable time for a movie. Maybe too long. Like, I don't know. Comedies are tricky. Like sometimes it seems like the comedies that are. Thank you. Excuse me for a second.
Whoa.
I feel like sometimes I feel like sometimes comedies, should be like an hour 40 is not bad time, but maybe that's a little bit long even.
I feel like hour and a half is
hour
pretty
and a half.
standard.
Like for a comedy, I get it if you're making some epic, like some big epic, like chances are you need more than 2 hours to fit in all this shit. But for a comedy, silly comedy about time warps, like I don't know, maybe like 10 minutes or so could have been shaved off, and maybe the movie would have had a little bit, in my personal opinion, a little bit better flow, and then maybe in the end, maybe would have got better reviews. Like I wonder if that's what happened. If it was some sort of, like you said, Liz, like out of sync or a little bit like a flowing issue that maybe affected the reviews and the ratings and the comments about it. But I mean, like I said, like we'll always probably bring up in a lot of these episodes, future episodes, like. If it's a comedy and like you laugh, I mean that's what matters, man.
If you're laughing a lot,
that's what matters.
Yeah, exactly. That's all very objective. Pretty sure.
Yeah,
that's the word.
But as far as cons, I mean, the core of it all, like, if I want to, or try to pick out cons from the movie, like it would be some things maybe weren't fully explained, and maybe like a structure issue with the movie, or things kind of dragged on or out of sync or out of place, but besides that, I mean, like the performances were fine, the laughs were there were some good bits and good scenes, and I don't think the effects were that bad. I mean, they're fine. I mean, they're just as good as they're better than some of those.
Yeah, I mean, they're not
Avalanche Sharks, and
they're not like the best CGI ever, but I mean, what it is works just fine for that movie.
So.
But I mean, I guess that is something you could say. It's like, well, it wasn't top-notch special effects.
Yeah.
I mean, at the same time, there are a lot of shots in the desert, which I don't know if they were actually on location.
I don't know. It doesn't say. It doesn't say where they filmed it.
I don't think.
Sometimes they film things in like New Mexico and stuff, like somewhere where there's
space for
like
it.
Space, like
I didn't
they're
see.
still not far from California.
I mean, I guess I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, especially if it was
like the
if they were
scenes
filming
of him
in California.
running.
I could definitely see them going out in the desert, which wouldn't be very far for them.
Or maybe in California. I'm sure there's parts of California that are like. I mean, you probably know more about geography than all of us. I'm sure, Professor. There's
definitely parts in California, or even if you just go a little bit east, it's all desert.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't have been very far for them to go.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure how much of that was green screen.
It's probably just a combination of green screen, like out in some form of desert. Maybe that's the thing, like what's it called? I think it's called like matte painting. I think, but it's basically like they're in the desert, but beyond the rocks, that's what's fake.
Right.
Like they kind of cut out the image.
Right.
I apologize if my terminology is wrong with it, but matte painting, I'm pretty sure is what it is.
You know better than me. It's fucking matte painting now.
I'm a few lubrications in. I don't know.
That's what happens.
I agree. I'm sure that there were some. Well, especially I was gonna say, the shots where they're in the desert and you can see in the distance all of the things from our world that are there. Yeah. I'm sure that was all CGI.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't just build a motel in the desert.
Yeah.
Just for the,
Yeah. But, yeah, and it seemed like with the fireplace, like, I'm sure that was on a soundstage, I would imagine. And, so I'm sure a lot of it probably was on
the forest stuff, I would say was probably all soundstage.
Yeah, for sure, man.
The desert was the only thing that looked like that could have been on site.
I think so. But, yeah, so so as far as like production value, if we want to talk about that, I mean, it all seemed fine. I mean, for what it is, I mean, that's the thing. It's a stupid comedy. I mean, like,
if we're talking about cons, I know Liz, we were talking earlier about how when they get to that motel, Holly takes the amplifier thing and just wanders off into the desert by herself, and this prism thing appears.
Sort of portal.
And she just, like, she makes no effort to tell anyone that she's just going to go exploring in the mysterious prism that just appeared out of thin air. Like, that's probably on the list of things you would tell someone.
Yeah, I wouldn't go. So, if that ever happens, guys, I'm not going to go.
But I would think that was one thing that was just like, that's probably not very realistic.
Yeah, it's almost like one of those, it's almost like a cliche horror movie.
Yeah, like,
thing.
Don't go in there, bitch. You know, like
I'm gonna go in. I hope nothing bad happens.
And it's the girl. Yeah, it's like
I'm gonna take this one thing that can get us. We're celebrating because we're getting out of here, but I'm just gonna go wander off into this weird portal real quick.
But I don't know. So that kind of like I feel like is just another piece of like her character, and like it just, I don't know. It seemed like they're like, obviously I have nothing against female characters in movies, but it seemed like she was almost just there as a female character. Like, I know on the show and stuff, and again, maybe if we knew more about the history of the show, we could have a better grasp on the facts. But I don't know, it just seemed like she was there. Yeah, right there, like, oh, of course you're gonna have a character that goes off and gets kidnapped, and this and that, and I don't know.
Yeah, but if she would have gotten kidnapped, or something would have happened where like a sand hole opened or something and just took her away.
Yeah.
Like something that like wouldn't have been her fault.
Yeah, that would have been good. If
That's
she was
a little
doing it with it and
different.
she got sucked in somewhere, that would have been way
because
better.
you know, and remember they're supposed to be in this weird dimension where those things happen all the time, or you don't know what's going to happen. So that's, you know, I feel like if that would have been the case, you know, because I feel like this is that part was annoying.
So that could be another con. Like maybe her stuff is just very cliche.
And also just with the cliche thing, just the fact that it was like the only girl character.
Yeah, I guess
is
so.
the one that got like kidnapped and needed to be rescued.
Yeah. That
was. It couldn't have been like I could have seen that being like
Chaka.
Danny McBride or probably Chaka
or something. Yeah.
Just because I don't know.
Right. Like why couldn't it have been?
Yeah.
Like,
so that's but again, maybe in the television show she was constantly, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if there was like homages or hints or references towards that, but regardless about the we'll check it out. But regardless about the show, like it did seem like very just cliche, like just there, just like to get like her, like she's basically there just to get kidnapped. You know what I mean? Like almost like they're having this great time.
I mean,
like eating crab meats, and she's just like.
She's not partaking in any of that.
Yeah.
She's one of those characters that is kind of just there to move the plot along. Like, she was the one who convinced him to finish building the amplifier. She's the one who forced him to go out and test it.
Right.
And then, I mean, she's, the one that they have to save. She's, the reason why after their little, like, after they're rolling on whatever kind of juice Chaka gave them.
Right.
That, like they have to get up and go do something and you get to the climax of the plot.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but she's also like that person that at like at a party that's a buzzkill. So, I mean, that's
I thought you were going to underline buzzkill.
Buzzkill. Like, ever they're celebrating, we're going home, and she's like, let me mess with this. And like, being an annoying nerd. Sorry, I said it. That's all I'm saying.
This is hard to me.
I'm just saying, sometimes it's like, come on, don't be so cliche.
They really made her look like Tomb Raider. I kept thinking about Tomb Raider. Didn't Tomb Raider have the hair and the white tank top and the short shorts?
Yeah,
boots?
yeah. I mean, the tank top and short shorts is a Tomb Raider thing, yeah.
Very Tomb Raider-esque.
But then again, if that's how, you know what? I think the thing says that in the original series, it was before she ripped the pant legs off.
Sexified up.
Yeah. So before that, I guess it was true to the story, and then afterwards it was clearly for the sex appeal.
Oh yeah.
It was like, oh yeah, so now like she takes off whatever button down or button up shirt that she had over top of the beater, and fucking and like rips. Of course, and that was the other thing. I think when I was watching it with Kara, She was like, oh, that's convenient, the way that those pants ripped perfectly.
Yeah, and then there was like a slit also up the side. I was like, oh, come on. They could at least be like actually ripped, you know? So yeah, let's ask the gentleman, did it work?
I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm not
she's an attractive woman, yeah. I mean, you know, I don't think they were wrong to be like, maybe you should wear less clothing. But at the same time,
no Razzie there.
It doesn't seem like
a Razzie Dazzy.
No Razzie there on the sex appeal.
But I mean, but again, you know, the fact that, I mean, obviously, that just means that the character Holly in the original show wore more clothes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, that character wasn't originally supposed to be there for that reason, but yeah, they found an attractive actress. They were like, yeah, let's show off the legs, show some cleavage.
Because you figure you got Will Ferrell and Danny McBride, which Liz as a woman, I don't think they're sex symbols. They're awesome,
not exactly.
Cool, but
especially when they get to the pool and Will Ferrell's wearing that Speedo.
Yeah, he does the slow motion thing out of the pool.
Yeah, that's what you were talking about.
You probably did like it though. You probably were hot by that, weren't you?
But you know, I feel like that's another one of those things.
Who wouldn't be?
I feel like that's one of the things that Will Ferrell always does, because he knows that he doesn't have like a super attractive male body,
right?
But he always seems to have his shirt off and everything.
Yeah. Well, two things. One, what were we watching? It was some interview, but they were talking to Will Ferrell's mom or something. It was something with his mom, and she was just like, she basically said like, I don't understand why he's always getting naked in movies or something like that. Remember hearing that?
Something about that, yeah. But I also read that when he first, and in interviews from people when he started SNL, that he was in really good shape. Like, they said he was really just muscular, he lifted weights, he was just always somebody who was liked to work out, and they said at some point he was talking to someone and said, like, I'm gonna quit. It would be funnier if I was out of shape.
Out of shape, yeah.
It's not funny if I'm in good shape.
Yeah.
So... Hey, if you're a man, you can do that. I'm just
kidding. So there's a piece of advice. If you're funny, guys, who gives a shit what you look like, man?
I mean, I fell for it. So.
There have been a lot of funny people that get away with not being like super fit or something, just because they're funny.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Or like a Will Ferrell. Not to get way off track, but in Superstar, he's like the hunk, the school child.
Yeah, right. But they exaggerated that. He was like the shoulder pads on his. Football uniform were ridiculous.
All that was like old school Night at the Roxbury.
Well, yeah, that's one of his first movies.
That was all before Anchorman. Anchorman was the movie that like made a shitload of money and made him like a A-list star. Probably bumped his salary up $10 million. Probably, like, it made him a massive, fucking star. Even though he's been around for probably 10 years before Anchor. You know, I don't know when he started SNL, but it was probably somewhere early '90s, probably, right? Early mid '90s.
Yeah.
Mid '90s.
Yeah, I don't know exactly, but it's something like that.
But guys. So we're looking. We're about to hit the hour 20 mark.
Okay.
Ooh, we're doing all right. So we can always wrap this guy up and saying, so Liz.
Yes.
Is Land of the Lost overrated or underrated?
I'm going with underrated.
Damn. That's one. Sean, Professor, Captain Zoo.
PhD.
Land of the Lost.
Captain Zoo.
Wow, that's
Is Land of the Lost underrated or overrated?
Oh, definitely underrated for me, I must say.
Well.
So Brad,
the moment is yours.
What's your decision? Overrated or underrated?
I'm going to say Land of the Lost is...
so underrated.
Underrated.
It's underrated, so there you have it.
So I looked over at Liz Wack and I just lost it.
You know.
Yep.
No, I'm
easy to laugh at. What can I say?
Unanimous.
It is unanimous. So,
Incognito.
to
No, I think the film is underrated, man. I think the reviews and the 26% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like,
yeah.
Come on, man.
So I give that a Razzie.
Yeah, I give the Rotten Tomatoes a good old
We give the Razzies a Razzie.
You know what that means? It means Rotten Tomatoes can suck
Rotten
it.
Tomatoes can suck it.
Oh, that was a great.
Suck a rotten tomato.
Well, I don't think you could wrap up any better than that with that last.
I think
line.
I can.
Ooh, yes.
Ooh.
Have a good day, good afternoon, good night to everyone who's listening, right?
Yes.
And if you don't, it's your own damn fault.
Damn! Boom! Yeah, great
like that.
French Wacko.
Even the
Wacko
dog agrees. So Wacko Radio is lubrication for your conversation.
Damn!
Oh man.
All right, well, guys, thanks for listening.
If you had fun,
like, comment, subscribe.
Talk to us.
Talk to us. We need friends. Clearly, you listen to us.